we're looking at videos on why society has basically failed men, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So we're gonna get right into it, man. We gonna see what we got going on here, and y'all probably ain't gonna like a lot of what she got to say, but she's spitting. She's spitting.
The men are not okay. That's right, folks. The men are not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no money, are breaking their legs and inserting metal rods into their bones to be a few inches taller, and listening to AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
That's kind of funny. That's funny. That's funny. I don't know who has porn addictions, but I ain't even gonna lie to you. Never mind, because I heard this a statistic that 2 out of 3 dudes get either no play or is a virgin, and I found that extremely distressing. Like I don't know how you can go a whole year without getting no cooch, but that's wild. Like yeah, I'll be on the hub 24/7 too if it's been like 6 months plus and I ain't had not a lick of meow. You know what I'm saying?
Turns out the society that was built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them.
Now hold up. I don't like that right there. Society was built by men, you know what I'm saying, but it was not built for men. It was built by men for women. And if you look at anything we got in this world, you know what I'm saying, it's just to make our lives easier.
Down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, right another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head.
What you mean boo-hoo? I'm just sitting here like, yeah, let's go. Somebody talk about us. Because no one else gives a shit.
Yes. And if you have a problem with that, tune into literally anything else.
Honestly, great scene, if I'm being real. Like, that cut was smooth as fuck. That was top tier.
Racist, and it
She's
seems
ready for a talk like
really
this.
cares.
Like,
and the people who do care just seem like the people who want to sell them shit. Not me. I'm different. So before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor.
Is it Monster?
Today's sponsor is Holzgern. Holzgern is a young Austrian company that designs unique crafted warm invasions.
He dropped the sponsor in there quick as hell. Hold on. Y'all already know we're gonna skip the fuck out of there.
So go to the link below and predicted single then
wait,
for
too
not
far.
skipping the ad. Thank you, Holzgern, for sponsoring this video,
that.
And thank you, the viewer, as always, for not skipping the ad.
Why are men and boys
We definitely skipping the ad. What up,
What
up, baby?
A few new studies have come out that have shown that young men are more lonely and single than ever before. But it's not just men. The women and children, too. It's predicted 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The economy is booming,
getting that paper.
And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
Fucking tune in.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right. Yeah, man, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know,
I did hear something like a while ago when I was like doing all my podcast like stuff and all my little research. Like it was a statistic out there that was like most dudes like not getting no type of play. And I thought that was like surprising. Like that's kind of wild. And when they explained the number, it was 1 out of 3 dudes either are not getting no play or are literally virgins. Like this is like throughout the entire year. And then it changed. It went up to like 2 out of 3 men don't get no play throughout an entire year. And to me, that's wild. Like 2/3 of the entire men population just get nothing. And I'm just like, I don't understand. That don't make a lot of sense when we got all this what do you call it? I wouldn't even call it I don't know what to call it. All this freeness, you know what I mean? Like all this freeness to do whatever you want, talk to whoever you want, and for some reason men are single, getting less play and not, interacting and getting the girls like they were supposed to. I don't know. Like we in a free market now. Like you don't got nothing on you for doing what you want to do, being who you want to be with. Anybody gonna say nothing to you? Like it's crazy to me how, you know what I'm saying, girls are getting more play. Period. The dudes, like, they taking the girls, they taking the good looking men, and like all that's left is like this shit. all that's left is like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing.
I think men and women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society. Perhaps we should address this, not just wave it off as empowering or pathetic. According to several different articles, I love how that's my source, I read about it on the internet, research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori. Did I say that right? I don't care. Basically, postmodern hermits. Mostly young men who completely withdraw from society, secluding themselves in their rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society. So basically, if you want—
Yo, like, what? No, are y'all listening to what she's saying? Like, she basically saying, like, over there in Japan, like, they further along in their little loneliness street than we are. And she's saying that these dudes do not, like, interact with women, basically, at all. Like, they're afraid of eye contact. Like, do you know how many, like, times, like, I have a conversation with just anybody, and, like, only when I talk to women, like, do they simply, like, just avoid eye contact? In general, because they're the ones that like don't really want to initiate eye contact, like and for that to like be on them as the men, like that is scary. But to say their population's on the decline, that's even wilder. Like they got a lot of people over there in Japan, and like they're trying to just get the men to do anything over there. That's wild. And I could see that something like that happening over here in the U.S. because it's not looking good. Like, it's a lot of dudes out here that just don't know how to talk to girls or like talk to people in general. And sometimes it's not even like, I wouldn't even say it's their fault. It's like it's tough sometimes being a dude. Like I don't even know if I've ever like seen anybody in person like cold approach a woman besides like myself. I've done a cold approach at certain times. Like it's tough. That is not something you can just do. That takes a lot of like confidence and courage. Like, and a lot of dudes just don't have it when it comes to talking to girls. Like they get rejected 1-2 times, like get called ugly, you know, maybe like try to talk to a girl and next thing you know the girl like wanted the friend or something. Like it's a lot of stuff that like is discouraging, and it's gonna lead to wherever Japan's going. And that decline in population is kind of scary. Especially when we now have women that are literally taking over spots of men who want to be men that are actually like dating and marrying our women. It's
want
a
to
little
know
wild.
America's future? Look no further than Japan. A lot of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology. RIP to the king. Although technology makes things easier, it can also make us more atomized. Why go to the mall when I can just tap, buy a new microphone, and have it shipped to me in a day? Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I can just tap, Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5. Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey, who even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI girlfriend? We're f***ed. We're so f***ed. Dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. You know, we're the ones who—
Okay, I do have a little bit of experience here. Women are way pickier than men. Like, way pickier. Like, me and my homie did this one, like, little thing. Like, I just wanted to see. I'm like, just swipe how you would swipe and just, like, let me see what you would swipe on. I just wanted to see. Left. It was like that Beyonce song. to the left, to the left. Everything you see and a swipe to the left. I'm just sitting there like, damn. And I'm like, at some of them, I was like, they kind of, no homo, bro, but they were some decent looking guys. Like, these were some chads. I'm like, shit, jawline, like shit. I'm like, I wish I had some shit like that. Like, dude's jawline stronger than mine. I'm like, damn, I have no shot. I'm like, damn, I have no shot. But yeah, I think that's what most guys get in their head, because most female standard is so high, they just think they have no shot. And some of them right. A lot of them be right. But a lot of them don't even try. It's just the worst part, because the moment you stop trying is the moment you don't like gain the experience or the confidence in yourself to even like actually get it done. It's
carry
wild.
The babies, at least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the at least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little.
How men rate women. 6% least attractive. Yep, that looks about right. So if you look at the top, how men rate women. So it's not a lot of women that men would say is ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You're right. Fuck these hoes. But I mean, the hoes got a reason for being picky. Like it ain't good for them to just be out picking any type of dude. So I understand. Like, they want some tall stud. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna do what they need to do. But at the same time, that ain't available. So they want a specific type of guy, and it ain't a lot of him available. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 to 0%. It ain't a lot of them going around. So what happens is, literally, either they getting cheated on by all the same dudes, or they settle for something that they feel like. I'm just gonna say they settle for something. That's worse enough on its own. But that's wild. And women is like, they do. I feel like that's accurate. They do kind of rate men on this type of scale. They be like, no, ugly, 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 ugly. And like this range right here, I feel like it's not too accurate, but like in this range, they be like, he's okay. Like, no, I wouldn't date him though, blah, blah, blah. Like that's this range right here. This is the range, like, yeah, I'd fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like I hit that first day. That's that category right here. So half of y'all not that. And most of us not that. Me myself, I ain't that. Like, you know what I'm saying? First, like, they ain't even gotta like know you. They just like fucking trying to get in them pants. That's it. They just want to stick. And if it ain't that on looks, they're looking at them pants. Sparta! Yo, what's good? What's good? Join the squad, man. Go appreciate that
just
follow.
Joined the squad. Welcome.
Yeah, you on Twitch with it? I'm already knowing. Join the squad. Appreciate that. I just found that to be extremely crazy. Like, these some crazy stats to me, to be watching this like that. That's wild.
A little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and the window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say
that's
they
hidden.
have.
Yeah, that's hidden. That's pretty hard, because I did talk to my dad recently about something like this. And I told him, I'm like, I don't really have a lot of friends like that. I told him straight up, like, I don't got a lot of friends like that. Like, compared to him, I was like kind of comparing to him. I was like, the people you grew up with and like that still come around to this day, like I see them every single day, and it's like it's enough of them that I can't even really know all their names and count them all. You know what I mean? Like, my dad got a lot of decent friends that, like, you know, come around, a nice big handful of like close friends that like always been around, always probably go be around, and it don't compare to me. I just don't compare to that. I got maybe 1 or 2 really close friends that I like, you know, talk to on a pretty regular basis, And I got another handful of like really good friends that I trust and I communicate with probably on a daily basis most of the time. But compared to him, it's just not the same. And I told him like I don't even feel like I can trust half of my friends half the time. Like I wouldn't even allow half of my friends over my house as a kid, and that said something to me. I was like, compared to like a lot of other people, I don't have nobody come over. I don't want nobody coming over because I'm like, if they don't meet a certain expectation for me, then why would I bring them around my family? Like, if I don't feel like they family to me in that type of way, to what I've seen from like my older folks, my parents, and like people I would call my uncles and aunties, like then why would I bring them around? There's no point in bringing that around my family. It's just fake energy. It's wasted time. It's wasted energy. I don't fuck with that. Kind of annoying to like have people for a long time and they just kind of disappear on the face of the earth. But I cherish memories, and that's something I always kind of like looked at is if I can't have this memory and like share it with you throughout the years, then what was the point?
No close friendships. Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so difficult. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal, sockdom, leftist, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of
honestly, like the whole left and right situation, the whole like putting things into parties, that's not something I thought Andrew was doing. And that's another reason I think people really liked him too. He completely separated from like all the political stuff. He just wanted to like talk to men. And that is something that I see he wanted to do besides all the other like little bullshit that he was doing. That is a good message he was setting to try to get men to be men. And it's hard to, get that message across without causing controversy, because how do you define what a man even is? And that's something he's trying to define. And it's not easy.
The monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Recently, there were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently, Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't."
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful. Me when I lie. LMAO, cry about it. Boo f***ing who? Oh no, poor widow men having problems. Boo f***ing who? Grow the f*** up then. Have men considered being smarter? I'm enjoying all these sad little moids and their sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a personal problem. Is the lack of compassion for men in the room with us right now? Maybe men are just not good people then. I'm so f***ing tired of people trying to make male loneliness a huge societal problem. Yeah, no, their fifis are not my responsibility, and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their shit together as human beings. Grow the f*** up. Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves. The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL. Cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded worldwide were committed by male perpetrators. We should just get rid of all males, to be honest. This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence. By the way, you know the Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists?
Yo, what? That last one was wild. That last one was crazy. I didn't even got no comment about it.
Male tears, penises are evil, blah 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 back in the day. Well, this is them now. Should've just let me cook back then. Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird bull.
Buddy, you gotta deal with the worst cars ever. He said I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in the 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird body. And bad skin. Like, bro, what don't you have? What do you have? I hope you. Never mind. I would say I hope you got game, but he said he ain't got that.
Balding pattern and have bad skin. You know what I didn't do? Choose to become a fascist. Because I recognize most of the sort that look like me are the problem. I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist. Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation. The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry, but how is respect women brain-dead advice? What advice? Don't rape? Don't be a rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends or community, I feel suicidal. Have you considered not raping? Act like a decent fucking human being, it's not hard, is brain-dead advice? Brain-dead advice like, get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like,
Kids, don't be racist.
Incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1. Always get enthusiastic consent. 2. Save the planet. 3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist.
I ain't even saying what because I'm confused. I'm just saying what. This is how I actually respond to this bullshit. This is really what they be saying. Like, this is what we. I don't know. I was like, what?
Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their issues? It doesn't. Why is their advice always supposed to be, become a liberal? Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men flock to the MRA movement because they're the largest beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries of women's rights. Like, no f***ing shit. Let's be honest. Aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around, and I don't blame any woman for just saying, no thanks. Oh my god, dude, this is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me. Just with the genders swapped. This is pathetic.
Honestly, yeah.
You know what fixes male loneliness? F***ing off. Literally. As a man, I'll say this. Sit down, shut up, and beat one out. You'll feel better. I promise. Yeah, guys, just beat one out. Just off. Just watch porn.
I think that's what they're doing. I think that's their problem. They have addictions to it now, I guess. No, like,
That man will be very disappointed in all of you. It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend. No, you sexist freak. When one side is like, wanting a girlfriend is sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how to get a girlfriend. I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket? Now they just come on here and try to make their loneliness and misery into some social justice issue. Oh, trust me, men are still kicking the bucket. And when they're not giving mind-blowing advice like...
Yo, she be sneaking...
And when they're not giving mind-blowing advice like just to be a liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely. It's not our job to educate them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it. We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created. Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. Why does the well-being of other people concern me? Leftist, by the way. It's all systemic issues and societal factors and blah 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 until it's a man and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy. Solve your own problems and leave women alone. These people rightly mock.
Yeah, that is dumb. And then they do that and they use and try to misconstrue our language to make it seem like it's something it's not. The patriarchy is exactly what we live in. We give pretty much everything we have to our sons, like legally, the name, everything, and you marry your daughters off. So literally, we live in a patriarch since the lineage is carried on through the male. If I myself were to die like tomorrow, everything would go to my son. Everything. Not my daughters, my son. Because he would keep my last name. And if I only had a daughter, then my lineage pretty much dies. I don't know if most people know that, but if you only have girls as a male, your lineage dies when you marry your daughters off. Your last name is lost, and so is your lineage. Not completely, but yeah, that part of you is lost. Like your name is kind of all you have. So, we definitely live in a patriarchy. It's just how you define patriarchy at this point that kind of makes me angry. But we can change dictionary definitions now, so I guess it really don't.
The bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man, and then it's bootstraps.
Oh yeah, I don't know if y'all ever like seen something like this though, but I'm gonna shout them out on stream because these fire. They count. No homo, bro. They call mouth busters. they call mouth busters. You know what I'm saying? They bust in your mouth. They definitely bust in your mouth a little bit. But I'm trying to show all the little picture, but a little code right there. Mouth busters. And this is dude from Arizona, but like these motherfuckers is fire, G. Like almost like it's I don't know what this is on the outside, but it looks like rock candy. But it's like a fruit roll up on the outside. Ooh. That was good as fuck, man.
All the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's wild. And it's kind of like both sides are telling.
I should bust right in my mouth, man. Should have bust right in my mouth.
Men to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but one is like, I'll show you how, and the other is like, fuck off. And when they're not telling men to straight up fuck off, they're giving the 200 IQ answer that nobody has ever heard before. Just show your emotions, bro. And I'm not dismissing this problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, faggot. And studies have shown that men are scared to be vulnerable, even around the homies. And can you blame them when the media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke to open up?
UK builders go woke. Studies behind 3/4 of tradesmen, my bad. I cannot read them high as fuck. 3/4 of tradesmen discuss their feelings with colleagues, while 2/3 shun their fried breakfast, and nearly half say that they are street buffs. What? What? Opposed 20,000. I cannot fucking read today, bro. I'm sorry. Oh my god. A poll of 2,000 builders found that 2/3 regularly talk about their feelings. Nearly half said they were history buffs, and 60% favored science. Research shows outdated stereotypes about builders do not reflect the reality.
To your fellow men and discuss history. Men are socialized to believe strength, dominance, and stoicism are behaviors of a real man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic problems affecting men. Now, while a lot of this may be true, men have been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomena. Toxic masculinity has existed forever. If anything, there's less toxic masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of, like, gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress, Barbie movie, blah 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 blah. My point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid-2010s. But social media did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable that nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than the poor distribution of wealth causing people to suffer food and housing insecurity. Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal, wah. Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing. People are working harder and longer while wages have been stagnant, men have been dropping out of college like flies, and what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion, leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues. Many such cases. And why would a struggling man even want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them?
The question of whether or not the hashtag online left does enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And like, men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering and assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos. Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crime statistics at me? Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey, maybe you should have less stuff and other people should have more.
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like,
they like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do shit. The Republican Party will not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is, at least rhetorically, offering men something other than nothing or the eternal HR department. Every time this discord comes up, there's people like, we need a leftist Andrew Tate. We need masculine role models on the left. But the fact is, it's hard for progressives to organically appeal to men, because a large part of progressivism is oppressive hierarchies, and men are oppressors. Making progressivism look appealing to young men is an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on Twitter, as always, there have been a lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men lefty content, and I'll put some links to some below. I don't agree with all the points they say, but I recommend watching. It's much better than,
they like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around, how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your personal politics. How do we make the left more appealing to men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to Andrew Tate? Instead of just, how do we help men? And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder. Disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good, finally. And while it doesn't—
I don't know what I was about to say. When are we going to address misandry? Because it seems like we don't have a problem with misogyny. It's a problem now with misandry. There's a lot of women that just straight up hate men, and it's why. They be like, They could just unalive themselves. I'd be like, bro, they are. Like, they are. What do you mean?
It doesn't systemically affect cis men. It most certainly affects trans men. Oh. Y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading this shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop! It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just, like, evolved overnight from male tears to cis male tears. And I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. We knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us and to have people want to talk to us and to have a community. And then you transition and you're just...
That is a woman. That is wild that that's a woman. Not because I'm just saying it's looks manlier than me almost. Like, got a full beard. Like, what? Why do you look like an older guy than I do?
Just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder.
Hold on, man. Like, I'm 23, man. I'm 23. In a few months, but I'm 23. No facial hair. Like, I got like a picture of, you know what I'm saying? I got a little stash up there, but nah, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no facial hair. And this girl has a full beard. What am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Like, what type of coochie is you eating? What do I gotta do to get a beard like that? I don't give a fuck about the message no more. Where do you get this beard from?
Harder to build. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and...
You know, I get called a lame. Wait, is it a lame? I get called a lame and a virgin every few months by this one person that I know. And it's because I have no facial hair and no tattoos and I'm light skinned. That's the only reason. He's like, oh, what are you, lame? I'm like, but you lame as fuck. You a virgin. It's like every few months. He just called me on Instagram, calls me lame and a virgin, and then hangs up. And that's our entire conversation. It's extremely wild, but I do pick up the phone every time because it's hilarious.
People who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow. I love how even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be told they're part of the problem because, first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, off to sissy hypno fetish porn, and go to bed like...
None of us did any of this shit. Like, we didn't do anything. We haven't done shit. We got here a few years ago. And everybody just hates men. And it's just like, why? We just like trying to defend ourselves the best we can. Cause we're like, look at what the men of the past did. They did all this good shit. And they're just like, nah, we don't care. So, men suck. They're like, oh, men are shit. Men should die. And as a man, you just hear, and you're just like, I got balls, so I suck. So I don't deserve to live because I have testicles. I don't deserve anything, any land, property, or anything because I don't know. I don't know what the logic is. I just don't understand. And the hate so one sided is funny. It's like men don't even know what they're. It's like a nagging ass wife, bro. It's like that nagging ass wife and that beta male that just stands there and takes it because like, why you got to be mad? It's only a game. What you have to be mad for? It's sad. It's just a sad time. It's like watching that beta male just get bullied by an alpha female. It's bad. It's like watching a puppy like bite the fuck out of a big dog, and a big dog just gotta sit there and take it. Just gotta take it. Otherwise, a bigger dog just sitting there looking at him like, touch him, bitch. Go ahead, touch him. But it's wild.
Like everyone else. I've talked about this before, but a lot of men's value comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for, they get into findom or send random girls on the internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore. Whether a job or a career that's fulfilling and pays well, or a woman or family to protect and take care of and provide for, men are lacking purpose. And a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know who does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute audacity to act shocked that Andrew Tate is scooping these guys up after a decade of lol male tears is insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years. And even now you just want to recruit them, not help them. And that's why you will fail. And hey, maybe I'll be the Andrew Tate of the left. Men, listen up. Wash your penis. So I guess I'll leave you guys with a question.
She's right.
Why do you think male loneliness has been increasing? What are your solutions for
We like this white girl.
And are you dealing with loneliness? And I will see you guys
She got the black stamp of approval over here. Like, stamp her forehead right now. With PL. Stamp her forehead with PL. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna actually do a outro right here because I'm probably gonna upload some of this to YouTube. So if y'all did enjoy this video, y'all, go ahead and leave me a like. Go ahead and leave a share on the video, and please go ahead and sub. I'm definitely gonna be uploading more shit like this. And next time, go ahead and let me know what y'all want in the comments, man. Like, let me know what videos y'all need me to react to or what I need to do. Cause I'm bored as hell. I'll get on to the next video. I will see y'all later. Peace.